Good day. Good day, good day, good day. Yeah, welcome to another Everyday in August video. We've got, last time we talked about how I started falling in love with the country of Korea. And today we're going to talk about something called Teach and Learn in Korea. So in 2010 ish, no, 2013, I discovered this program called Talk, Teach and Learn in Korea. And I applied through them in 2013, went roughly on the August intake, went through a couple of interviews. I made a couple of mistakes where the guy popped up and I saw he was Korean. I'm like, 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다. And he looked at me, he laughed, and he's like, "You can speak English," in a completely flawless American accent. And I'm like, ah. So this guy interviewed me, and I got accepted in 2013. And this was during the month of August or so, like late 2013. I think I applied in June, and the intake happened in August in 2013. And we got the interview, and somewhere in December or somewhere in November, I found out, like, hey, I'm accepted. I got to get ready for the August, for the February intake, the February of the next year, which is 2014. And yeah, had our farewells, had some family dinners, last family dinner before I went over. I was clean shaven. My head was practically shaved. I was clean shaven. And now looking at these photos, I'm pretty damn fat. But anyway, or I looked fatter than I normally am. And, looked fatter than I normally am. The camera adds 7 pounds. But anyway, so I think it was what's the earliest photo taken of me? Yeah, it was the weekend before the 5th of February. Get to the airport, get on the plane. It was a roughly 24, 25 hour plane ride, maybe even longer. All I know is I got on the plane at 2 o'clock on the Saturday, and I arrived at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock the Sunday, my time, South African time. But it was, no. Yeah, I got on board 2 o'clock the Saturday, and I arrived the Sunday, 2 o'clock South Korean Standard Time, which is about 7 o'clock our time on Sunday, well, 8 o'clock our time on Sunday. So it's quite a long trip. And I remember I got off, and I'm like, on the plane trip itself, we're going to go into detail here. I ran into two girls talking, and I'm sitting there in one waiting area in Dubai, and I'm like, hear them talk about South Korea, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Are you going to South Korea? They're like, yeah, we're going to South Korea to teach. We're in the talk program. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm in the talk program too. And we met those two girls. One of them, which is, if you know, is Minnie May's sister. If you know her on Twitch and or on YouTube. It was Minnie May's sister, but I didn't know it at that time. I didn't even know Minnie May at that time, but anyway. And so we got on the plane, and they started freaking out, and I'm just like, listen, this is like, my Korean trip was my third trip overseas. First trip was to England. The second trip was to Korea, like 2 or 3 years prior. And the third trip was again to Korea. And I'm like, listen, you know what? And they like stressing out. I'm like, no, what? You know what? Chill out. And we get off the plane. I make sure, like, I have no idea where we should go. But I get off. I wait for them. I see them. I'm like, cool, let's do this. And we go together through everything. And eventually we get into Seoul's airport. The first thing you want to notice when you get into Korea, and this is probably what a lot of people can tell you, is they've got a very unique smell. You get in Korea and you're like, I'm in Korea, you know? And it might be a mix and mash of some herbs in the air or some tofu being made somewhere or something. But that was the first thing that hit me. Like, I remember also in the previous time I went to Korea in 2011, I also remember that smell hitting me. And yeah, got off the plane. And we started walking. Now, I don't remember much of that first day in Seoul Airport. And I say Seoul Airport because that's the topic for the next video. Seoul Airport. What happened there? And I'll see you in the next one. Also, let me just tell you, I've decided I'm going to record these on the day that I release them, so that I'm sort of fresh and everything. It's going to add a bit more time to my work, but to my work day, but it's okay. And I'll see you in the next one, where I talk about most likely just my experience on Seoul Airport. It won't go as detailed in the future, but the important things will be lifted out and whatever. But I'm going to try and take you step by step through everything. So, yeah, next video will be Seoul Airport. And, until then, you should have a weirdly good one. I'll see you in the next one.